Welcome to History Zipped, the place where we take long, fiery, chaotic historical events and zip them into bite-sized, flaming hot nuggets of knowledge. Today's tale, the Great Fire of London. Yep, 1666, the year London was hotter than the Sahara in summer. We've got fire, we've got panic, we've even got a man burying his cheese. And no, that's not a metaphor. This is the story of how one careless baker and a windy September night nearly erased medieval London from the map, and how the disaster actually gave the city a much-needed makeover. So sit back, relax, and let's roast. Roll. The year is 1666. London is a bustling, booming city, but it was built entirely out of medieval Jenga blocks and a prayer. Seriously, it's all wooden buildings, overhanging eaves, thatched roofs, hay everywhere, narrow alleyways so tight you could pass the plague and a handshake at the same time. London just had a plague, leaving more than 100,000 people dead. So the people's morale isn't great, to be honest. There was no organized fire brigade. None. If your house caught fire, the plan at the time was to scream and run. September the 2nd, 1666. Somewhere around 1 a.m., a spark ignites in a bakery on Pudding Lane. The baker, Thomas Fariner, forgets to fully extinguish his oven. Now imagine this. You've got flames, wooden beams, a dry summer, and wind gusts saying, "Let's help you really fan those flames." The fire quickly consumes the house, then the neighbor's house, then the neighbor's house. It spreads faster than scandal at a royal wedding. Fariner and his family escape by climbing out of the upstairs window. Their maid, who was too scared to jump, becomes the first casualty of the fire. The Lord Mayor, Sir Thomas Bloodworth, is alerted to the fire. He looks at the blaze and famously mutters, "A woman could that out." Spoiler, she couldn't, not even after a big night in the pub without a toilet break. By sunrise, the fire is leaping across streets. Wooden signs. Stores and homes all go up like kindling. Still very little is being done. Bloodworth refuses to allow fire breaks. Fire breaks are where you demolish buildings to stop the fire from spreading. He says no. Too expensive. The next day is Sunday. It's absolute chaos. The fire heads straight for the heart of the city. People grab what they can. Mattresses, children, beer barrels, and, very often, nothing useful at all. Samuel Pepys, London's diary king, notes people carrying bedposts down the street while their houses burn. One guy saves a birdcage. Another man carts off empty boxes. It's like the most unhelpful moving day in history. The River Thames turns into a floating refugee camp. Boats packed with furniture, families, goats. The goats are really not happy about it either. Monday comes. The fire grows larger. It's now engulfing entire parishes. People are fleeing like it's Black Friday at medieval Walmart. King Charles II shows up. Finally, someone with power who doesn't think a strong breeze will fix it. He orders fire breaks, sends in the army, orders houses to be blown up to stop the fire. Charles brings in the demolition crews. Medieval style. Is it too little too late? Most definitely. By Tuesday, the fire reaches St. Paul's Cathedral, which was acting as a storage facility for prints and books. Because what could go wrong with packing a giant church full of flammable paper during a fire? The fire inevitably takes hold of the cathedral. The roof collapses. The Great Dome falls. London's spiritual and literal skyline, gone in one afternoon. After 4 days of fire, the destruction totals over 13,000 homes burned to the ground. 87 churches destroyed. Major public buildings, businesses and homes are turned to ash with no sight of a phoenix. Miraculously, the official death toll remains low at under 10. Historians still doubt this figure. There's no way everyone escaped, especially the poor. All the records burned. So if someone did die in a burning basement, nobody was writing it down. As the flames die out, the hunt for a scapegoat begins. A man called Robert Hubert confesses to starting the fire. He says he's an agent of the Pope. Everyone thinks, great, he's guilty then. So they hang him. There was one minor issue, though. He wasn't even in London when the fire started. The fire then gets blamed on the French, on the Dutch, on Catholics from France pretending to be Dutch. Conspiracy theories fly faster than the pigeons in Trafalgar Square. Once the smoke clears, it's time to rebuild. Some dream of turning London into a grand Paris-like metropolis. Wide boulevards, symmetry, a logical street grid. London says, no thanks. Let's rebuild it almost exactly the same, but this time we'll use bricks. Christopher Wren redesigned St. Paul's Cathedral. It gets a glow-up. Other architects pitch their ideal cities. Most get ignored, but we do get the Monument to the Great Fire, a giant column that basically says, oops, our bad. The fire changes London forever. New building regulations, brick over wood, fire inspectors, insurance, and the birth of something brand new, an organised fire service. Yes, the Great Fire of London was a disaster so ridiculous and destructive, it finally convinced people to stop lighting everything on fire in wooden homes full of tinder. The one benefit is that the fire helps end the plague. Burned out rats and fleas equals no more Black Death. So, silver lining? We almost forgot. What about Pepys's cheese? The story goes that after being rudely awakened by a servant informing him of the impending danger to his home on Tower Hill, Samuel Pepys sent his servant away, turned over and went back to sleep. Even after sleeping in like a teenager at the weekend, he managed to get most of his belongings out of harm's way, but he ran out of time to get his precious wine and Parmesan cheese to safety. Parmesan cheese was hugely sought after at that time, often given as gifts by the rich. There was only one thing for it. Bury it. That will keep it safe, surely. The cheese was never recovered. Maybe it's still deep below the foundations of a swanky London home. So there you have it. The Great Fire of London, one careless baker, 4 days of destruction, and the absolute roast of a medieval city. From flaming rooftops to royal rescue efforts, from cheese burials to exploding buildings, it's a disaster movie that just so happened to be real. It's got all the hits: clueless officials, heroic chaos, impromptu demolition, and one king who finally decided, okay, fine, maybe we should stop the city from burning. This wasn't just a fire, it was a reckoning, a wake-up call in 1,000-degree flames that screamed, maybe we shouldn't stack our cities like tinderboxes. It's the kind of story that makes you grateful for building codes, smoke alarms, and the basic idea that maybe storing flammable paper inside a cathedral isn't ideal. And let's never forget the real MVPs, the diary nerds, the boat goats, and the people who tried to save their bedposts, but not their brains. So if you enjoyed watching London burn, educationally, go ahead and light up that like button. Drop a comment with your favorite "What were they thinking" moment. Subscribe for more history served hot, fast, and slightly singed. We've got more royal meltdowns, revolutions, plagues, and bizarrely specific disasters coming your way. This was History Zipped. Thanks for watching. See you next time.